Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
So patrons, thank you for joining us tonight. This is Bob and Zach, and we decided to hop on just for a little while tonight to have kind of an instant reaction to the MLB draft lottery. The Orioles have participated in the draft lottery before. The last time was back before the 2023 draft, but this is the highest odds that the Orioles have had since the draft lottery was instituted. So a chance that if they don't come out of this with the number one pick, they should be landing pretty high in 2026, although we've seen some strange things since the lottery was instituted. So we'll have to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. I was saying before you hopped on, it would be pure cinema if the Orioles nabbed 1-1 again. I think the discourse out there in Birdland and beyond would be a great sight to behold.
Oh, it absolutely would. And you have to know that there would be a lot of people in MLB probably upset if the Orioles got the number one pick. Because let's face it, I mean, the Orioles didn't invent the strategy of tanking during the draft, but they were probably the last pioneer in that group.
Yeah, absolutely. Free Uncle Ted, says Seth English. Yeah, Uncle Ted. That was
No
unhinged on the last show. Hey, if it brought engagement, then I guess it's okay. But yeah, man, I was really hoping that the Orioles would sign someone today leading up to this, so we'd have even more excitement to talk about. But maybe they're waiting until after they get the number one pick and then go from there. But I don't know if you saw the reports today that I'm getting way too distracted by the chat that the Orioles had the highest offer for Schwarber, but then he took it back to the Phillies predictably and they matched it.
Yeah, I did see that. And, if that's true, good for the Orioles, I guess, for being all in on him. My reaction to the news when I saw it is that when I took a moment to get over the disappointment of not landing a big free agent, I thought, wow, 5 years is a lot for a pure DH. And maybe the Orioles get lucky here. I mean, that said, I know that if they had signed Schwarber, I would have been pumped up to come on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. There's a difference between analyzing the value you're getting and just being excited for the player that you got. Like, even if in the chat, the Discord earlier today, TC was talking about Mackenzie Gore. And while I think it would probably cost way too much for my liking to get him, if it went through, I'd be excited to have Mackenzie Gore in the fold and go from there.
Yeah, I agree. That's one move that I know that there was a mock trade out there, and I think it might have been ESPN that put it together. It was ridiculously high, I thought, but it almost sort of felt like, okay, here's 4 young players on the Orioles that I know. I'm going to put them in this trade for Mackenzie Gore. So I would hope, and I don't remember the exact package, but I would hope that whatever that was is not anywhere close to reality.
Yeah, exactly. And is Schwarber, is he Boris?
I believe so, yes.
That makes me wonder. I have to imagine Michael Elias and the Orioles knew that in all likelihood, the Phillies would match the highest offer he got, or at least that was a good possibility. I wonder if, hey, we're going to give you this nice big offer to give your client an extra $30 million and get from the team he wants to get it from. Help us out with some of your other clients here. Maybe it's a scratch my back, you scratch ours, hopefully.
Now, Baseball Reference lists Excel Sports Management as Schwarber's representatives.
Oh, okay.
But still, you have to think that they're hoping that they're just getting the word out to enough agents this offseason and know that they're, for their top-tier clients, that they're serious about spending what it takes to get a major free agent.
And even if they think, in all likelihood, we know this might be futile and he's going to end up back in Philly, but we want to give it our best shot. And that's why I guess they continue conversations with Pete Alonso behind the scenes at the same time. And yeah, there's a lot more Orioles out in the leaks, the media world this season than ever before. It just continues the theme of this offseason. And honestly, since mid-season of this past season, things being a little bit different in the warehouse.
So we're now at the most awkward part of the draft lottery, which is where the representatives from each team sit on stage behind Greg Amsinger and Rick Hahn with the team logo on a podium in front of them. And I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, okay, you got the 17th pick in the draft, and you're the scouting director for that team. Like, are you supposed to just walk off the stage? Do you have to sit there and clap for the team that gets the first pick? This part of the exercise to me makes no sense at all.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's got to be a better way. I mean, maybe they're just copying what the NBA does, but it's a little awkward for sure. Do we think that the Orioles are going to come out of the winter meetings? Obviously, it's going to end early afternoon tomorrow. Are we going to come away with anything firm tonight, early tomorrow morning before the Rule 5 draft? What's your prediction?
With the Orioles and with planning this show, I always assume it's going to be the least convenient time. Like the Grayson Rodriguez trade happening at 11 o'clock at night. So if something is going to happen, it will happen at like 11:30 tonight.
Or tomorrow night, right after our podcast.
Right after we finish.
Yeah.
We'll finish the show and we'll be talking about like breakout players in the minors and trying to fill time. And then it's like, oh, the Orioles just signed Pete Alonso. That would have been good an hour ago.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do think that we'll come away either with a move done or the kind of the foundation of a deal to happen, whether it's in trade or free agency. It seems like most of the focus is on free agency right now, but I have to think that behind the scenes, there's a lot of trade talk going on too. And, we've talked a lot about the Twins as a trade partner this offseason. I know that the Twins did come out recently and say that Joe Ryan, Pablo Lopez, and Byron Buxton are not being shopped. But the Brewers also didn't act like they were trading Corbin Burns right up until the moment they did. So I always take those things with a big grain of salt.
These reports, especially early in the offseason, they mean nothing. They're, if anything, it's trying to leverage the value that they do have to get people to up their offer. Yeah, I'm not very concerned about the options in trade. And once free agency really gets going and most of the top guys are off the board, that's when I think trades will start to open up more as teams get desperate and want to improve their team. Hopefully the Orioles aren't in that stage of things this year. Been talking a lot today about needing to come away with one of the top pitchers. And it seems like, man, that Rosenthal article was, while disappointing that they didn't get Schwarber, it was pretty encouraging that there's a lot of good quotes in there that the Orioles are hell-bent to improve their team this offseason, spend money. They're in on every top free agent other than Bregman and Bichette. So it's encouraging. Now we just need to see the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, and I thought it was encouraging, too, that they signed Ryan Helsley as quickly as they did, because that's one thing that I talked about when we did our offseason predictions show is, like, if there's one lesson from last offseason, it's probably got to move a little bit faster. And they didn't wait for the market to materialize for Devin Williams or Edwin Diaz. This is like, all right, we like Ryan Helsley. We're going to go out. We're going to sign him. So I was encouraged by that.
Yeah, me too. Also, the fact that they just immediately traded for Andrew Kittredge, got that done right away, addressed things. They traded, obviously, Grayson for Taylor Ward, got that. They wanted to set themselves up, I think, to focus on the big splash, hopefully coming soon. And I thought another report out of San Diego that what's the AJ Preller? He's up to his old habits again. Apparently, he's got a big blockbuster cooking that could be bigger than the Juan Soto trade or more surprising than the Juan Soto trade. That came out last night and made me start to savor and daydream about getting Fernando Tatis here somehow. I think the trade I put together was Povich, Mayo, EBJ, Beavers, and Mejia, because that's Spot Mejia. If we trade with the Padres in a big trade, he's going to go there because they love that type of player. What is this possible?
Yeah, I mean, and we'll see what happens, but it would be interesting if the Orioles kind of got in on a big splash like that. And going over to the draft lottery real quick, we're waiting for them to actually start the process of the lottery. But a quick look at the odds. The Orioles have the fourth highest odds in the lottery this year behind only the White Sox, Twins, and Pirates. So, again, that bodes well for them getting a high draft pick. And I know for myself, Bob, I have not really started to dig into the 2026 draft class that much. And it's a shame that Nick can't be here because he's done a lot of work over our Substack already. And in fact, go check that out, OriolesOnTheVerge.substack.com for all of that coverage. But I know one thing Nick has said, and I'm inclined to believe him, and from what I've seen elsewhere, this seems to be true, that this is going to be a deeper draft than last year's. So the Orioles stand an opportunity to get a high-impact player.
Yeah, I know. It sucks that they're doing this so early in the night. Nick is, I would say, our draft expert, definitely more than me. But it just seems like, I think I saw something yesterday that said scouts think 2026 is a better draft than 2025 overall. And we know that what's his last name? Chabowski? Do you know how to pronounce it? Sabowski.
Yeah.
We know he's probably 1-1. Seems like he's heavily favored to be 1-1. Obviously, a lot can change before the draft happens, but if we get, there's other names out there. There's some guy named Garcia, I think, is a shortstop, AJ Garcia, that could be like a top 3 pick. So I'm sure no matter what, we'll talk about it tomorrow night with Nick and get his thoughts on where the Orioles end up. But higher the better, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was wondering before we started, do they drag this out or do they kind of get right to it? And obviously they drag it out.
Yeah, they do.
That's fine. That's fine.
MLB is not quite at NFL level yet of let's take something that should take 20 minutes and make it 7.5 hours long, but they're getting there.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I think back to when the draft used to just be a conference call and listening to it one time on Sirius XM radio, and the first round was over in like 5 minutes. And now you turn on MLB Network and the first round is, well, we know from doing the live shows, 2 hours usually?
Yeah, exactly. At least, yeah. And it's good time. Gives us, some room to talk about everything that's going on. But yeah, they are definitely extending things, and maybe that's just a sign of a sports success, like the NFL. Like you said, they drag things out for ratings, but looks like they're about to get underway here.
Yep, and the Reds with the 18th pick in the draft.
I'm trying to see. I don't see them on the left-hand side. Was that one?
I've got the stream up right now, and now it's Houston with the 17th pick.
Okay.
So they are, now that they've got the program underway, they're moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Houston, okay. We just don't want to see the Orioles pop up.
Yeah, the longer that can drag out, the better. I would have to think, given their odds, that the Nationals, Rockies, or the Angels are going to pop up here, and it's Texas with the 16th pick.
Okay, yeah. We got to hope for some of the 3 teams ahead of us to pop up in at least the top 10 somewhere. Why is New York Mets on the left-hand side, but Cincinnati Reds on the board?
So I think the Mets lost their first rounder when they signed Devin Williams. I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that boosted the Reds up into the 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Reds were the last team in the playoffs.
That's right.
And the 15th pick here, Arizona Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Now, who do you think MLB wants to have the first pick less, the A's or the Pirates? Or I guess I should say the Players Union. Out of those 2 teams, which one do you think they absolutely don't want them getting the first pick?
A's. I'd say the A's.
Yeah.
At least the Pirates, they have Paul Skeens. So, I mean, and Connor Griffin coming. They just put in obviously it was kind of like a paper tiger bid for Kyle Schwarber at 4 years, $125 million. So that wouldn't be the worst. Marlins at 14. Former Oriole Charles Johnson for them. And Colorado, Washington, and the Angels, they can't pick any higher than 11, right? So they got to be the next 3 teams coming up in some order. Cardinals at 13.
So that's a team that was fairly high up. They were 8th. So,
yeah, that sucks for them.
Yeah.
Not too bad for us.
If you're the Giants or the Royals, you got to be feeling pretty good right now.
Oh, yeah.
The Royals were 13th, Giants were 12th.
Playing with house money. Angels, yeah. It's got to be the Angels, and then 11's got to be Colorado, right?
I think
Colorado
so, yeah.
or Washington, I think. So Giants and Royals should be in the top 9. That's a pretty big jump. Angels trading for Vaughn Grisham today after he didn't even play in the majors in this past year. And that's a very Angels thing to do. Number 11, Washington Nationals. C.J. Abrams getting some trade rumors circling around him all of a sudden. Got to be Colorado at 10. Elijah wants to know, why don't they do this in the opposite order so it's better for us in this current moment? I kind of see both ways here.
Yeah, it would be a lot more dramatic initially to have the number 1 pick at the top as opposed to the 18th pick. But I could see it going either way.
Rockies were 10. So now we're in the top 9. Anything goes. Starting to get a little nervous. I don't know. What's the box around 6? That means if you're in the top 6, is that because you can only be in the top 6 like 2 out of the 3 years or something?
I think so, yeah. I think that's why the Nationals and Rockies got bumped down. Braves at 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Giants and Royals, love and life right now. House money.
I'm just hoping that the Orioles end up above Tampa Bay. Although the two teams have such different draft strategies, it might not matter.
That's true, yeah. In Tampa Bay, going for all the ex-Orioles, traded for Brian Baker, signed Cedric Mullins.
Brandon Hyde now in the front office.
Yeah, that too. Number 8 is the A's.
The A's, look at that.
Big drop. Dang. From 5th best odds to 8th pick. Again, 7th pick here, you still got the Giants and the Royals 12 and 13 in their odds respectively. That'd be crazy if they got number 1. Red Sox serious about interest in Bo Bichette. Please do that.
Yeah, please put as much money as you put into Trevor Story and then some.
Yeah. Oh my God.
7?
7.
Oh man.
That's ridiculous. That's worse than Kevin Brown's prediction. We can't do that.
Yeah, this didn't turn out the way that we had hoped it would. It still should be a pretty good draft for the Orioles, because I think even if they sign a player that has a qualifying offer attached to them, they lose their 3rd pick, I believe, and not one of their top 2. But yeah, you would have hoped they would have. I was at least hoping for top 5.
Yeah, I know. Me too. But so the Giants and the Royals,
yeah, they're still hanging in there.
At least we're outside that top 6. So if we collapse again in 2026, we're back in the mix.
Yeah, let's hope that
frustrating.
That doesn't
Very
happen.
Frustrating. KTG says, I hate life. Ty AQX says, ugh. Elijah says, oh no. Jake says, wow. EJ says, damn it all. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's good sentiment.
Some of the reaction. Draft lottery is rigged. Yep. 2025 is a cursed year for Baltimore sports. They should have done this January 2nd.
Yeah, that would have been nice. Just push it out and get out of this calendar year. And the Ravens on Sunday. I'm glad we don't do a Ravens podcast.
Yeah, God.
Because at least it was baseball. You have the minors to distract you from the majors. NFL, you don't have that.
No, not at all. And I'm not a college football guy personally, so
no.
Yeah, the refs and poor performance and injuries. It's very Orioles-like. Came into the season expecting great things and got the opposite. Yep.
Yeah. So I know we'll have a lot more on this tomorrow. We'll get a chance to talk to Nick about it a little bit, but I think we were certainly hoping for a better result than this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ty says, I hate seeing Kansas City get good things. Always positive. Vivek, of course, says 7 is perfectly fine, which, I mean, yeah, it's better than we would have expected coming into 2025, but after finishing so low in the season with the record we had. And I guess maybe if you consider that the teams that fell out of that top 6 potential, then that's about where we would have landed with our record. But when you got a chance to get number 1 again, you'd love to at least get a little bit closer.
Yeah, and hopefully there will still be an opportunity to get a good player at 7. And with the draft, I think that every year there's more intricacies to it because how much slot money teams have, how they want to use it is always going to shape the way the class unfolds. And it's never just players 1 through 10 in your pre-draft rankings get selected in that order. So there's still a chance to do something at 7.
Oh, yeah. It's still a good pick. Better than we've had since the 2023 draft or 2022?
Yeah, 22 when Holiday was the first pick.
Yeah. And EJ says last time the Orioles picked number 7 was Nick Markakis. So can get another Nick Markakis / Dylan Beavers up in here.
That would be great.
There's Ben Dorr's favorite player representing the Royals. What's his name?
Adam Frazier.
No, the other one that we traded for in 2023 that blocked Kyle Stowers, and Kansas City gets 6th. He played for Tampa Bay.
Brett Phillips.
Yes, Brett Phillips. Yep. Royals 6, Giants still in contention.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, MLB, I think, wanted to introduce a little bit of chaos to the process when they went with the draft lottery. And they've had that in recent years. I mean, a couple of years ago, the Guardians weren't that far outside the playoffs, and they got the number 1 pick the following year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pirates get the 5th pick, and you could see the guy they showed on screen was visibly upset by that. So, of course, Tampa Bay is going to be a top 4 pick, as is the Giants.
Giants at 4. Yeah.
Giants, okay. Just don't let Tampa Bay get 1-1 at this point.
Yeah. The White Sox really need this.
Yeah, fair.
Just let them have it. There's nothing that's going to happen there anytime soon. Just let them have it.
More than the Twins, too. So, although who knows what the Twins are doing.
Well, they're not trading Joe Ryan, and they've already told us that.
Yeah, obviously. Just like Edwin Diaz is going to try to get that 5th year. He ends up signing for 3. Oh,
Twins at 3.
Twins at 3. Razor.
Johan Santana.
Whew. Rays and White Sox fighting for the number 1 pick. Now, do they go all the way to 1 now? That's what they should do right here, but they probably won't.
Yeah, they should. I mean, I think that if they're going to go through this whole process of making the team representatives sit back there, they should make the last 2 teams, like their representatives, have to stand next to each other.
Yeah. Brett Phillips versus Harold Baines, 2 ex-Orioles, beloved by all Orioles fans. Number 2 is Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay all the way up to number 2. White Sox get the number 1 pick. That's fine, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of ex-Orioles up on stage today, honestly.
It's interesting to see.
Baines, Phillips, Devereaux, Charles Johnson.
Johan Santana was technically briefly part of the organization.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that'll do it. Hopefully this is just, I don't know, an amuse-bouche before the Orioles sign Pete Alonso tonight, along with Framber Valdez, 1-2 punch.
Yeah, and I was about to say we will be back tomorrow night, our normal time, 9 o'clock. But if something were to happen here in the next few hours, you never know. You might see us tonight. So be sure to check out our social media as your patron. So I'm not going to go through that whole spiel. But you know where to find us. Just stay tuned. If nothing big happens tonight, we'll be on tomorrow night. If something big is going to happen in the next few hours, we might hop on tonight early. So we'll see.
Yeah, and if something big happens tomorrow morning, I'm off work, so I'm available. Hopefully it does. I don't know. I'm really disappointed.
Yeah, me too.
Damn it, MLB. That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, thank you as always for being a patron. We enjoy giving you this exclusive content, even if it sometimes is anticlimactic. But there's a lot more good stuff coming your way, including our top 50 prospects countdown. So be on the lookout for that.
Absolutely. All right. I'll see you all tomorrow night.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Believe, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a Happy Holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.